So I am currently sitting in the airport in St. Petersburg in Russia, and I'm going home in 2 days. I'm basically flying from St. Petersburg back to London, staying in London one night, and then going back to South Africa. And it's not permanent. I am coming back to London, but my gap year is basically officially over as soon as I board that plane. It's terrifying. I've been sitting in this airport for 12 hours now, so I've had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to process my emotions, which I didn't really get to do before. And I now know that this thing that I kind of have been blocking out is actually happening. It's real. It's in a day and a half, and I'm fucking terrified. I have not mentally prepared for this at all until now. I just feel like I've been through so much this year, good and bad. I've matured. I've learned things. I've become more worldly, less naive. I've actually comparing things to, like, things I've written, things I've said, things I've recorded from last year, comparing things like that to like now, currently, even just halfway through this year, I can see how much I've grown, how much I've changed, how valuable this year has been for me. There's this like small part of me that is so terrified of going back and just reverting back to how I was and completely losing everything that I worked for this year and everything that I tried to change within myself. I like to think I'm stronger than the external factors around me, but we are all products of our environment, and I'm really worried. I mean, do not get me wrong, it's been 10 months, a great 10 months, but 10 months without being at home, and I miss my parents and I'm excited to see them, but there's still this little part of me that is so scared. It's probably unwarranted. I'm running like 1 hour of sleep. It's like 3:30 in the morning right now. I think this is a very realistic view, and I think this is what a lot of people who go on a gap year face. There's also the fact that you're going home where basically everything is the same, only you have changed. So I think it's quite difficult to fit back into that box, and although people know you've been away and you've changed and whatever, I think it's often quite difficult for them to comprehend how you've changed and in what ways, and it can lead to a lot of frustration on both sides. Like, they don't get you and you don't belong there anymore, and I think I'm really worried about that, because I can imagine that happening on the other side of things, because you've been away so long, because I've been away so long and I have all these memories in all these different places. I'm really going to annoy people by bringing up my like stories 24/7, but yes, it was my life for 10 months. How can I not bring it up? How can I not mention all these experiences and things that have happened to me and like in random circumstances? But I'm also worried about, like being that person like, well, on my gap year, and everyone rolls their eyes and kind of secretly hates you. There are a couple of reasons I'm quite scared, and although I am going back to London, I also have this really irrational fear that I'm going to be trapped there in South Africa. Like, they're just not going to let me come back, and I know that's not true, but it's definitely a fear. It's like, okay, well, once I leave London, is there a guarantee I can come back? Not passport wise, but just, situation wise. I just keep thinking like something terrible is gonna happen then, and I can't leave South Africa and I'm stuck there. A security lady just walked past and that was really embarrassing. I didn't just die inside a little. One piece of advice that I really like to give is for people to, if you feel like how I'm feeling, like anxious about going home because of all these reasons, what I've done is I've actually planned, like, there is very little to do where I live. I've had the luxury this year to do whatever I want when I want. That's another thing, I've had my independence, and now I'm going home to my parents, and I'm really concerned, like I'm suddenly going to be really restricted again and lose my fierce independence that I've had the whole year. Like, when I want to do something, I do it, and now I won't really be able to do that when I'm home. So what I've tried to do is I've planned a bunch of things, like a bunch of really random things that I would never normally do when I'm home. I'm hopefully going ice skating with friends. I've never been ice skating before, but I'm going to try to do that. I want to go to the beach. I want to go hiking at a local reserve. I've joined a gym temporarily for the month that I'm back. Just all these things to make it interesting, so I don't fall back into the same patterns, to keep myself stimulated, and I think just to maintain this like change I've made and continue this like self-improvement cycle, keep things interesting so I don't just fall back into boring, mundane, everyday life I had there that I really hated. So just planning fun and different and weird things to do. I'm planning on meeting up with a bunch of friends who I haven't seen in like a year, so that's gonna be so good as well. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, we're going away on holiday, so to Namibia with my family during Christmas and New Year's, I think, which should be really good. You know, that's what I've just kind of been doing to like calm myself down, is like make it less scary or less intolerable. We are capable of altering our environments and making ourselves feel more comfortable with going back. It's something to look forward to, even if it's just something
Уважаемые пассажиры, начинается passport and boarding pass. We wish you a nice flight.
Just give yourself something to look forward to, even if it's something really small, like anything. Just give yourself anything. I also I bought myself a phone, a new phone, because this one has been completely wrecked on my gap year. Like, this poor boy has been shattered. I'm really excited for that. It's quite materialistic, but I'm excited. I was thinking maybe I could do some art classes. I won't have much time for that, but I'd really like to do some like art classes or something while I'm there. So just do something, take up a new hobby, go meet up with people, go to a place you've never have really been to before, or something you really enjoy, like rock climbing. Just do something different, something cool. So yeah, like I said, you don't fall back into that routine. You don't lose everything that you gained on your gap year, you know? Because I think that is my biggest fear. And I know now that I am happiest when I'm traveling and when I'm going to new places and exploring and experiencing a new culture, hearing a new language. That is genuinely when I feel the most content and the least anxious, where I'm not really stressing, you know? Or don't feel like I'm wasting my life, which, believe it or not, is a very common theme in my life. I hope that helped. Just basically very early morning advice with a sleep-deprived Tamarin. I'm so grateful for everything that's happened this year, and I still just can't believe that my gap year is effectively over. Oh my god, it's insane. Saying goodbye to Mary yesterday, because she had a flight the day before I had my flight. I just sobbed like a baby. Like, I'm not normally that emotional, but it was really hard to say goodbye. It was the best last trip ever. This was our last trip together. She's going to be studying in South Africa, and I'm going to be hopefully studying in the UK. So this was the last time we were going to travel together for years, I'm sure. It was really difficult considering she's my best friend and of 6 years, and we've been through so much together. It's just been a very emotional time for me. There's so much change, and I love Russia so much. Saying goodbye to Moscow and then having to say goodbye to St. Petersburg now was just so difficult. I think like the longer you spend in a place, like the more like home it feels, no matter how different it is from what you're used to. You just get so attached, and it's so much harder to say goodbye. When we were doing our like main Central Europe travel, we were going to these places for like 3 nights in each place, in each city, so we never really got attached. Whereas in Russia, I've been here 12 days, which is quite a while. It's just such a beautiful place as well. Right, this is me signing off now because I need to go get myself some water. It's been a great year. Thank you so much to everyone who's actually watched and supported and been even just remotely interested in what the hell I'm doing in my life. I appreciate that, and just the fact that you care at all to watch means a lot to me. So peace.
Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart.